What is up, guys? This is ChurchofCaboose bringing you guys another Destiny 2 video. And in this video, we're going to be talking exclusively about how to prepare for the new expansion coming out mid-September, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. This expansion is changing a whole bunch of stuff, guys. And as a result, I thought I would give you all some tips on how to prep for Shadowkeep. Some of you might be saying, but Church, that's like 6 to 7 weeks away. That seems so far. Why are we worrying about preparing for Shadowkeep now? Well, first of all, for those of you that are working individuals with families, time flies, as we all know, and so 6 weeks can actually feel like 2 by the time we hit mid-September. And we just all of a sudden are like, oh no, we forgot to do all the stuff that we wanted to do, or we just didn't have time. And then for those that maybe are not in the point of where they're necessarily working or have families as far as like kids and that kind of thing go, you could fall into the category of being a student, whether it's high school, middle school, or college. And guess what? School starts soon. Today, as I'm recording this, it is the end of July, and where I live, school starts in 2 weeks. So you never know. Stuff can take off, and those 6 weeks all of a sudden turn into crap. It is Shadowkeep time. So that's what we're looking at, how to prepare for Shadowkeep now. Now we will not go over bounties, because there's really no point in completing a bounty now, even if it has a powerful reward. Hang on to it for 6 weeks, unless that's your thing, because maybe you're max level and I don't want to get super busy, might as well do some powerful reward bounties and just hang on to them. I suppose you can try that, but what we're going to focus on is how to get resources, clear out those vaults. First we'll talk about the vault, second will be about getting the resources, and then third will be evaluating your clan or getting into a clan or a new clan. So let's get on into this. Alright guys, so with Shadowkeep comes 2.0 armor, and this armor is the newest and the greatest thing that come to Destiny 2 for all kinds of hyped reasons, and it makes your current armor useless. Absolutely useless. Like, you got zero reason to hang on to any of your current armor besides the Solstice of Heroes armor, which releases very, very soon as I'm recording this. So you really have no point to keep any of your current armor. You might be thinking to yourself, well, Church, why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. Supposedly, it's going to have a lot more potential to boost your character. It's going to have the ability to put on multiple mods. You're going to be able to have resilience, mobility, and recovery, as you've all come to know about in Destiny 2, as well as intellect, discipline, and strength from Destiny 1. Intellect is how fast your super regens, and you were able to increase it if you were so desiring in Destiny 1, so you could get super fast supers. Discipline is grenades, if I remember right, grenades and abilities, and then strength is punching. So you're going to be able to have how fast your character can go, how much you recover, how much damage can you resist, as well as super ability and punching, grenade and punching speed. So guys, you're getting like 6 perks in one without even going into the actual mods or like the perks like shotgun scavenger or any of that stuff. And then there's this armor, according to an interview done by Polygon. I'll try to have the link to that in the description. Bungie says they're using something they're calling like the energy system. So in my understanding from reading this article, means that the more you play with that armor on, the more your power, like you kind of upgrade it. Like Destiny 1, if you wanted to upgrade a gun, you had to play with it and build experience. While that seems to be what they're doing with armor. So you have the armor on, and you get experience, and you unlock more and more stuff, and then eventually you get to put on a metric crap ton of mods. And if I'm also understanding this correctly, I think one way of explaining this is kind of like a percentage. So if we consider a fully maxed out armor set as being 100% capable, then these different mods would take up smaller chunks of that percentage. The more powerful the mod is, the more of a percentage. So like this, just say in theory, you got some mega ultra insane mod. It could be worth 100% or all of your armor's energy. Or maybe you can just decide to do a bunch of smaller mods and get like 10 mods on. If you think of this in theory with my 100% principle. It may not actually work this way, it just has been a little bit easier to explain when using this analogy with clanmates and friends asking how this is all going to work. And that percentage analogy seemed to kind of help them understand a little bit more with more ease about what the energy system is. Finally, we're going to have the ability to customize armor preferences. So like say you really love having insane reload speeds, and whether because you play hand cannons or you just love having nuts reload speeds, Destiny in that interview, or I guess Bungie said, you could put like 2 reloading mods on the glove, or gauntlets is one of their examples. So you can really customize to your own playing ability with Armour 2.0. Very similar to games that like Skyrim or maybe even The Division. I don't think it'll be quite as insane of customizability as like say The Division, because The Division had all kinds of camps and stuff you could customize out the crap out of. But this is a very nice balance, I think, between what has currently been the case, which is not like it's terrible customization, but it wasn't great, and now you get to do basically whatever you want. If you want to be a reload master, you want to have abilities for days, you get to just decide how you want your character to grow and just go with it. And then ornaments are going to be more universal. Bungie in that interview didn't give a whole lot of details, but at the point they were trying to get at was, say you got an armor piece that has fantastic perks, like you absolutely love the perks, but it looks like doo-doo. Well, so apparently some ornaments from different armor sets you can carry over, so you can make that really good armor piece look nice as well, as opposed to either being stuck with an armor piece that looks like doo-doo or having good perks, or looking good, I guess. Sorry, excuse me. So armor with great perks but looks like doo-doo, or maybe armor that looks great but it tends to not have as many good perks. So you get to do all kinds of customization to make your character look pretty. Because what do we almost all try to show off when we're playing with our clanmates and our friends? Look how pretty I am. Look at my ornament. I do that all the time. Like try to figure out, make everything match and stuff like that. So that falls into me. So I'm looking forward into that. So with all this 2.0 armor stuff, there is no point at all in keeping your current armor. The only armor I will be keeping in my vault is going to be the armor I put in a lot of work for. And that'll be like my Flawless Trials armor, maybe my Trials armor, probably some of my Iron Banner armor, and then I might keep very specific armors like from the Revelry. I don't know. I probably won't keep like a set from each event for all 3 characters. I'll probably just be like my Titan. I'm going to keep a set for everything on my Titan. But that's what I'm going to do with my vault. And now that takes us a perfect segue into getting those resources, because you know what you get when you dismantle armor? Legendary shards, sometimes glimmer, and sometimes bright dust. And you guys, we're going to need tons and tons of resources, because what happens with the release of every single new expansion is we are constantly buying and upgrading and using resources just non-stop, and we're upgrading all of our armor and our weapons. So dismantling everything in your vault, or at least almost everything in your vault, could give you a metric butt ton. And you can see here on screen that my vault, while it's not completely full, I got a lot of stuff in there. As you guys can tell, there's really no point in me keeping those exotics that are like the 300 power level. So I need to go through and do some diminishing myself, because especially with armors and exotics, if you decide like, hey, I really wish I had that exotic, well, guess what? You got collections. You can just go to collections and retrieve that exotic armor, and you know what? It's going to be almost your max light level anyways. It'll drop it when you retrieve it from collections at about 20 light level, minus what you currently are, which only lowers your overall power by like 2 to 3, especially once you hit everything as the max power. And so there's really no point, guys, in hanging on to any of this armor, because you're getting better armor, they give you resources, and depending upon what it is, you probably can pull it out of collections, especially if it's year 1 of Destiny 2 armor, because those are all set rolls, and anything that's a set roll, you can pull out of collections. So there's really no point to keep that armor, because you need resources, and that armor will give you resources. Now here's also a little tip of what I like to do with expansions. Instead of let me give you guys an example. So maybe day 1, Shadowkeep drops. I'm playing, I get a hand cannon. I'm like, oh, look at this thing. This looks really cool. I love it. Maybe I will just throw it into my vault or into my inventory instead of infusing it to be the highest it could possibly be at that moment in time. Because you know what? My character will still be a baby in power compared to the max power when that Shadowkeep first drops, so I'll save it. And then as I get to more of like the soft cap, or if I'm like, shoot, I really want to do this Nightfall, or this raid, or whatever, activity that has a required power cap, but all the guns that I have are terrible for this kind of activity that I'm trying to go into, because I really just been making it work for story, because stories in theory is a little bit easier, and so that's when I would then infuse the guns and weapons that are an armor that I really like to be higher light level. Would be once I get one that I really like and I'm kind of like a soft cap, or need something to make an activity more achievable for myself so I can get that sweet loot that we all love. And that's mostly why probably a lot of us play Destiny, because we love chasing down that loot. Now here's another way to get resources, and this is probably the number one reason why I'm doing this video when I'm doing it, as opposed to like 2 weeks before Shadowkeep, is go to the spider in the Tangled Shore as many times as you can in a week. The resources he sells are supposedly set to change every single day on the daily reset, but sometimes you hit the same ones, being if it's sold for multiple days in a row. It just switches if you have to buy legendary shards or use Glimmer to get that resource. So you use Spider, and I use legendary shards. It's way more achievable, but if you got a bunch of those consumables where if you break them down, that gives like close quarters kills or something like that, gives you a chance for a shower of Glimmer, then maybe use some Glimmer. But I just go every day and just like, look, what can I get for legendary shards? And this now ties in to the vault, because if you dismantle stuff in your vault now, you could get a butt ton of legendary shards, and that means you're more able to buy resources, so that way you can infuse things when Shadowkeep comes out and you feel like you're at a point where you want to start increasing power for items that you enjoy. So guys, that concludes the part of resources. You're going to need a lot of them. So let's just do a recap. Dismantle your vault till you get lots of resources. Make sure you're waiting until you have a power where you feel like it makes sense to infuse your armor and weapons, as opposed to every single light level that you go up, you're infusing stuff, because that will save you so much money, or I guess in-game resources. And then finally, go to the spider in the Tangled Shore. I guess if you want to be kind of that grinder kind of a dude, you could also go to planets, do those planetary bounties from the planetary vendors, as well as just run around, open chests and stuff. However, I don't get much joy from doing things like that, so I would much rather just buy stuff from this Tangled Shore from the spider, which is why I kind of just glossed over the whole farming for resources thing. But there you go, that's another option. You could just go to the planet, open a bunch of chests, and find the resource there, and then just do that over and over and over for all the different resources. And last but not least, guys, you should evaluate your clan. What I mean by that is, if you're in someone's clan, maybe you're not the one running it. Let's just give an example. Maybe you're a PvP player, but your whole dang clan is PvE, and you're kind of left by yourself. That's not going to necessarily do you a whole lot of good, but as the PvP guy, it's a little bit better. The worst scenario to be is if you're a PvE guy and your clan is almost all about PvP. So to the point where you're having to like LFG for almost anything you want to do that's end game, as opposed to having to do Crucible kinds of stuff. Because you're going to have such an easier and more enjoyable experience if you're playing with your clan members. Your clan level is leveling up. You're getting those clan bounties done, which give you more powerful rewards, as opposed to just being in a clan just to be in a clan and you don't even get to play with them, because they either don't do the stuff that you do, or maybe you just haven't built those friendships, and so they're always off teaming off and you're kind of being left like the third wheel. Just look at your clan and decide, hey, is this the clan for me? Is it full of people that are playing? Because the other point of being in a clan that actually like plays the stuff you want to play is you gotta be in a clan that has members that actually play. Because one of the things that will help you to level up and just bring more joy to your Destiny 2 experience is being able to actually play and find people. You could be like how I was for the first couple of years of Destiny, having to constantly use LFG and looking for everything. But you know what? It's so much more fun to play with a handful of people, or like the same like 20 people, or the same 80 people over and over and over, instead of constantly fighting a new guy, making a connection, and then you guys just don't ever, or your friends list gets like a mile long because you guys keep friending each other, but it's just tough to, re-team up. And so just look at your clan, decide if it's the best option for you. Consider maybe leaving and looking for another clan, or if you're running the clan, maybe you go through and be like, these people haven't connected to Bungie in a super long time. We should probably talk about, hey, like you guys either got to start stepping it up, or we might have to remove you from the clan. Because, guys, I would suggest considering it, because with Shadowkeep comes free-to-play. And with free-to-play is going to come, more than likely, a ton of veteran players from Destiny 1 who, when Destiny 2 came out, absolutely hated it and quit. That's what happened to a bunch of friends of mine. They stopped with the Osiris expansion, and they're like, hey, I think we're going to come back for this expansion with the free-to-play, try it out, and then if you like it a lot, we'll probably buy it. And so I anticipate the number of people wanting to join your clan that you know because you used to play together could go up. And so you're not really doing yourself or your clan a favor by keeping in people that either don't want to do Destiny or just haven't played it in a long time. And someone's like, well, nothing good has come out yet. All right, well, then they obviously didn't play Opulence because there was a ton of stuff to do with the Season of Opulence. And if they are like, there was nothing out, then I don't know how they're going to ever enjoy Destiny because Opulence has been pretty peachy so far. Not perfect, obviously, but, you know, it's been pretty great and enjoyable, at least for me in my clan. So anyways, guys, that concludes my video. I really hope these tips kind of give you a head start on Opulence. Make sure you guys are clearing out your vault because there's no point in keeping them. You're going to much rather have that Destiny 2.0 armor and weapon, get rid of the armor. And then you can use the armor as a part of getting your resources so that way you can buy and upgrade and level up so much faster than you would if you were just to kind of fly by the seat of your pants. And if that's your playing style, then fly by the seat of your pants. By all means, I'm just trying to help those of you that want to try and take advantage of the time you have now. Well, maybe you're not super active because you're like, oh, I kind of finished almost everything except for maybe like Flawless, Crown of Sorrow, or something like that. So you maybe have some more time just to kind of build up your money, so to speak, and get rich, get fat with strength. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. I hope this was a helpful video for you. I'm ChurchofCaboose. If you found this video to be helpful, I would really appreciate if you were to click that like button. Feel free to share this if you got friends who are trying to prepare and aren't really sure how to go about this, or like this might be fun info for people to know. Please feel free to share it. And if you want to see more content by me, I would love if you were to hit that subscribe button. I have some personal goals with YouTube, and every time someone subscribes, it just makes my week, and I would just really appreciate it. Anyways, you guys are so awesome. Thanks so much for watching. I'm ChurchofCaboose. Have a great week, and happy grinding, y'all.